Okay, with these fellas, there is a pretty strict sort of sequence of how you do things. So, what table or tables do we need? Okay, as soon as you do two tables, what should you automatically think? Okay, we need to join them together. And how do we join two tables together? So batting.player is equal to players.player. And all that will do is make sure that Bradman in one table matches Bradman in the other table, or Morris or whoever. Okay, we still, thanks Nick, haven't done our grouping. So we don't need to do our select just yet. So select is almost like the last thing you do. Okay, how do we want to group our information? Yeah? So we want to group it by the country, and we also want to group it by the test. So we want to know, a bit like we've got all the data sitting in front of us, and we say, here's all Australia's data on the left, here's all England's data on the right. And then once you have Australia's data, we then separate it into the 5 tests. Okay, so there's 2 actions of separating it. Importantly, whatever you put in your group by must live up in your select. So this is the first time we actually get up there. Okay, so it's going to say Australia, first test, and then what do we actually want to calculate?
The sum of
Okay, and if we have a quick squiz at that, it will show us that sort of information. So that's not a bad way to do it. One thing you can do is sort it by test. So you can have the first test of each country beside each other. So if we want to do that, we just change the order. So we go order by 2 because we want to do it by test, and test is the second thing in our select statement. So now when we look at it, we've got the test. So we can see that in the first test, Australia scored slightly more. Second test, Australia scored heaps more. The third test, Australia actually scored way less, but they didn't lose, so it must have been washed out or a draw. Okay, this one, England actually scored more in that one as well. And that one, Australia, I assume, won. But all I know is Australia didn't lose, so there might have been one that was drawn for whatever reason. That one in particular, there were a lot of runs scored. So compared to the other tests. Okay.